Okay, welcome everybody to the Lazer Grand Arena. We have the second match of the quarterfinal stage today, and a banger matchup you're about to see coming up. It is going to be the South Korean legend FlyingTuna up against the Aussie legend ASecretBox. Two phenomenal players, two players with very diverse skill sets, who play a little bit of everything. Obviously with some varying strengths. We've seen both of these players kind of cruise to their current spot in the bracket so far. Box not dropping a set yet, and FlyingTuna only dropping one. So two players who have really yet to taste much of a loss in this tournament, and they'll be duking it out today. So yeah, commentating this one is going to be me, Vordy. I'm joined alongside Hubba. Hopefully their mic is working in a moment. But going into this one, in terms of strengths, I think the biggest one between either player is going to be Box's stamina and potentially flow aim on things like Nomad 2, DT2. But Tuna can play plenty of things. We see the insta-laser map ban from Box. We saw this happen in the past two matches Box played. Box just does not want to play the laser mods. A little bit of a shame because this one's really cool. It has that depth mod, which is, if you've seen, looks really, really wonky. Tuna responding with the Nomad 2 ban completely fair. That's probably Box's best map in the pool other than, if I had to guess, DT2. But Box actually going to protect Nomad 3. A little bit of a surprise to me, considering that to me looked like a Tuna map, but Box seemingly pretty confident. For the moment though, while the other commentator fixes their PC setup, I will be solo comming. But I'm still a little bit surprised about the Nomad 3 map. It's obviously low AR, alt, aim control, some weird patterning. When it comes to the low approach rating, I would have had to kind of give that matchup to Tuna. I would assume Box would want to stay a little bit away from it. Still obviously very, very good at low AR, but maybe you could give Tuna that edge. Tuna protecting the DT2. It feels like in my mind these protector swaps. I've seen matches start like out this way where it's almost like players are picking for each other. But if anything, that just indicates how close these players can be in skill sets. Obviously, Tuna obviously very good at tapping, but I'd have given that 250 stamina edge, especially with some of the rhythm complexity to Box originally. And Tuna banning out the Hard Rock 1. Hard Rock 1, probably the most just conventional mechanics map of the pool. It's pretty comfy aim, a little bit smaller than your normal Hard Rock circle size, and really just mostly a test of cross-screen jump aim. I might have didn't see Box's other ban. It looks like it was hidden too. That's pretty interesting. Protecting the Nomad 3, so protecting the low AR Nomad, and banning out the AR rate hidden. So definitely some variance in the low AR Box wants to play, likely more confident on the Nomad with the approach circles ready. And it does look like Tuna has picked up the DT2. But I think, Hubba, are you back?
Hello, I'm here.
Welcome
Apologies
back.
for the technical difficulties, but we are back now, ready for some Lazer Grand Arena. Seems like DT2's been the first pick. This is Tuna's first pick?
This is Tuna's first pick, which I'm a little bit surprised. This is Tuna's protect and pick.
Ah, here we go. Well, I mean, looking good for him early. A couple breaks coming through for Box and a 3% acquid. We've been seeing Tuna go on this speed arc as of late. Well, as I say as of late, but it's been like the past 2 years he's been building up this speed comfort and coming through in a big way early on.
Yeah, I think I remember it was, I want to say the 2023 RWC potentially. I think even by that point, Tuna was already like one of the best raw high-end tapping players of the South Korean team, and it's only really increased since then. Maybe finding a little weak spot in Box, because obviously Box has phenomenal stamina and at a certain range, but there is a BPM at which he loses some comfort, but he looks to be recovering pretty well on this map. But Tuna, I mean, 99%, absolutely crushing these patterns. Some of the rhythm complexity as well in this one makes it a lot more awkward. Val obviously having some more unusual rhythm choices, which can make this BPM even harder than normal.
Yeah, and we're easing up into this quarter mark, and players are just about 1/100 divided from each other. It's just that early combo break from ASecretBox, been SSing since that point. These older mapping styles, kind of Tuna favored as well. You mentioned Valo in a way being the mapper here. These slider ticks in the middle of these sliders, always tricky. Gotta be flowing every one of these patterns to near perfection.
When I saw this in the pool, I was like, wait a second, this map is way too hard for DT, but then I forget, obviously it's a 1.3 multiplier, so a lot more reasonable. Man, both players still no misses after that early drop from Box, so this is anyone's game still, and remember, even with the set mechanic, you still need to get a big lead as you can, and FlyingTuna with a massive break, much deeper into the map, much more important miss, and now Box, if he holds on, will be able to build that lead back up before his next pick, or his first pick.
Yeah, making it unscathed through that little kick slider aim section. The thing that got Tuna to break there was some of these snap doubles at the tail end of these longer bursts. Always tricky, and kind of a side effect of these older maps also being very hybrid. I mean, like, some of these patterns or stuff you would see in like a DT alt map, but coming through in a big way here as ASecretBox takes that lead, and still not having the ACK advantage. Both players been holding on to an SS for quite a long time.
Yeah, I mean, both on 99 is just so impressive for this map. I mean, the stats on this one, it's 254 BPM, and the stamina check is brutal. Both players dropping on that section. I believe the timing from going off the stack to the next note is a little bit awkward, especially at this speed. So nobody's going to be running away with a massive score lead, but as we wind it down to the ending of this map, it looks like Box is on pace to take the map lead for the start. But man, just really well done for both players here.
Yeah, always sad to see that first protect go to the wayside. I mean, a very contested map to put your protect in. Perhaps misevaluating some of the stamina of Box as he takes that protect point and gets that early lead on the set, 30k to him.
Yeah, good start for Box, and you know, I wonder, do you want to pick your protect now? I feel like the map he protected was, I mean, felt pretty contested as well in a similar vein of this DT2, and after that you really don't want to drop this set. It's huge if you can win the first set with your opponent's protect already being out of the pool, but the lead isn't too huge, so you have to pick right here. You have to pick something you feel pretty confident in, getting a better score than your opponent.
Yeah, and I'm feeling as though Box is probably going to lean into one of these more one-sided pit maps here, something like like one of these flow hard rocks, a hard rock 2 perhaps. I could see that playing into Box's favor, or even a hidden 3 really. We've been seeing a lot of players scared to go into hidden against Box early on. Been the most banned thing against him, but Tuna also plays ball in that ballpark. This is just very close match, no matter the map, I would say.
I mean, something like the Hidden 3 just seems like a map that's good for both players. Both players are good at this kind of hidden, techie, flowy map. So I don't really know if either player wants to break into it early. And it's going to be Box starting with the Hard Rock 2, which is a pick I do like. This is the precision map of the pool. I guess the second be 2 if you include the No Mod 3, which Box did protect. CS 6.8 with the Hard Rock. A bit of a mixed skill set precision map. I would say it's mostly on the flow aim side, but there's still plenty of aim, plenty of awkward kind of jump scare patterns, some wiggle streams that at this circle size and at this BPM just looks so unbelievably easy to miss. I can't imagine we're going to see that many big combos, but especially in the act department, Box should be good here, and that might end up making the difference.
Yeah, players recently getting very well acquainted with precision at these higher skill cap levels, and you love to see it as we start to head into these flow patterns. These cut wiggles are so sketchy at the SR, of course, like XL decel patterning going in a big way. Not a ton of stamina, but this flow so devious.
Yeah, I mean, this is already traditionally one of the easiest. This is like you're combining two things that make it easy to break, like aim control, ulti patterns, especially this BPM, and small circles. You combine that and it's just Miss City. But both players doing a pretty good job. Box still keeping that combo from the intro. A little bit on a shorter side as well, and I do think it has some spiky section, so any combo you have now you want to keep. Tuna's recovered pretty well. If Box misses, that's going to give him an opening, but neither player budging just yet. And Tuna, huge miss from him.
Oh, and it's going to be a kick slider for Box. Hits a bulk of the aim, but unfortunately going to be falling at the tail end there. Not too far of a lead because of this ACK difference. Just about 0.5% of ACK lead for Tuna, still keeping the lead map to map. And going to be having some potential to claw back the score difference so far. 22k, not so much for Box's lead. Is mainly going to be coming from that early combo.
Yep, Tuna's going to need to win this by 32k. If he wants to take this set, so Box has a little bit more of a cushion. And that's a massive miss from Tuna. Had he held on, this was actually so within reach. That score ever so increasing towards him. But now Box, as long as he can keep it together in this ending section in these last roughly 20 seconds, especially with that miss from Tuna, I mean, this should be good. Barring a chain miss, which you can't really note lock in Lazer, it's not possible, so should be fine here for Box.
Yeah, and it seems like both of these players so comfortable on the flow and aim control, but as soon as one of those kind of corner jumps comes through, we see a break from either one or the other. It could be a little bit coin flippy, but Box a little bit more comfortable in the aim on the day to nail the set down with a 80k overall set lead.
Yep, great start here from Box, and when you're in a match like this, super contested, both players are really good. Any set you can take is just a massive relief off your shoulders. So good start from Box here, and he's going to be picking the first map of this next set. He'll be able to decide to set the pace. Does he pick his Protect? Does he want to pick into something else? In terms of, honestly, now with the rest of the pool, I would say everything is kind of pretty contested. I don't think anything here is just like, yeah, this favors the other player. Both players can play everything here that's left.
Yeah, it's just going to be field checks based off the day. Of course, we know Box to be comfortable on modded maps. Those hiddens and hard rock's going to be comfortable for him, and it's going to be the play. He's going to go for the hard rock ult, which I am not so sure about this pick. Tuna hard rock ult is always very scary in one of his more consistent skill sets, but I mean, Box 1-1 hard rock, might as well just keep it running.
Yeah, we haven't seen Box play this skill slot in the first round of matches. The Hard Rock 3 was also the ultimate last week. Tuna did give it a go though, and I believe he got around a 775k. So Box knows that score. This map obviously quite a big step harder. Box very good at Hard Rock, pretty solid on the ult as well. So seemingly should be confident, but at the same time, as you mentioned, Tuna is an absolute beast at ult, so there is always potential here.
Yeah, this map, in comparison to last week's, was, I believe, a higher CS and a little bit more unconventional. This one is just a very high SR version of your standard ult map with the hard rock on. Very just clean cut with these kind of diamond patterns, overlapping snaps. Still, no breaks from either player, just a slight accuracy advantage, couple in hundreds on Box's side.
I mean, I'm surprised I think we're just seeing such a low amount of breaks. The level of play here is quite high considering just how difficult these maps are in this pool. Accuracies from both players as well, super high, 99%.
Yeah, at this point it's gonna be, with how volatile the skill set generally is, The first break here might be massive for one of these players, as both combos still held the score line just flickering back and forth is anxiety-inducing if you're these players, I would imagine, but still holds on through the first ki as both. Wow, what a showing.
And it's gonna be that first break from Tuna yet again. Box just managing to last a little bit longer on these intro combos. And yeah, both players playing great, 99%, but that first break from Tuna, can't really blame him. That was over a minute of just straight high skill cap hard rock ult. And now it's kind of Box's pick to lose.
Yeah, the reward for finishing out that first ki. Gonna be getting a little bit of calmer section to his name, being able to build up this lead. What was once a flickering scoreline has now ballooned up to a 65k and ever growing with that next break from Tuna. Just a 1k combo from Box is no slouch. Still holding on tight is unbelievable work. I mean, oh my god, I mean, we're into the next ki now. We'll see if he falters it, but I feel like it's all eyes on Box at this point. There it goes, but Tuna has a lot of ground to make up. I feel like winning this point in particular, it's more about mitigating damage. A 100k score lead you do not want going into your next pick.
Yeah, I completely agree. Almost impossible to win this pick at this point, but mitigating the damage, anything does help as he goes into his next pick. And this is Box's pick, so you should expect to lose this one. Box still hanging in there, especially with his 400 combo building up. By the end, the score lead might not be as big as we would think. And just both of these players' accuracies in lockstep, even with varying locations of misses and drops.
Yeah, bulk of this lead was just from that massive combo Box had, the big 1k. But the hardest pattern of the map, Tuna holds on. We see that second break from Box, and that's going to help Tuna. He's shrinking this ever still. 700 combo at the end, bringing it back 50k score. So that way that score lead is only a 49,000 deficit going into his pick.
Yeah, really good job with the mitigation. Box ends up winning it by, not a huge margin, and just phenomenally done from both players. I mean, I don't think that score is... Either of these scores are going to be too common to see. I mean, with the plays remaining this weekend, maybe actually it is possible. Some of the star power we have. But here, I think if you're Tuna, you just have to pick your best map that's left. Because it's a close margin. 50k is not a huge deficit to come back from. You really don't want to go down 2 sets against Box. So I think at this point, it's do or die. Pick your best map, try to even it out, and then after that, you're in a good spot to keep going. So whatever Tuna thinks is his best option, you should pick here. And it's going to be Hidden 3.
Yeah, Hidden 3 is going to be the play here. Very kind of rhythmic flow here. Collab with Megafan. Again, this is one of those contested maps. I feel like Tuna always comfortable on the hidden, but so is Box. Tuna comfortable on the flow, but so is Box. It's just like very toss-uppy here. I think there is potential for it though. I mean, the confidence is always in the picker, and 50k not so hard of a margin to come by, especially if we keep on seeing this level of consistency from both.
We did just talk about how this map felt like something both players could play very well, and was a bit coin flippy, and that's just going to be the name of the game from now on. I think you just respect that your opponent's going to be good, you pick the maps you feel good on, and just hope in the moment you can play better. This map, Hidden, on the techie side, but still plenty of, I would say, more of a flow aim tech-focused map. But this map should have elements that both players like quite a lot. FlyingTuna probably more so, some of the cuts, some of the slider patterns, and Box more on that flow aim.
Yeah, just a slow starting here. A couple 100s for Box on the slow section. Don't blame him, but going to be giving Tuna a slight advantage early on.
But I mean, traded pretty much right after. These are the hardest parts of any map to act, but it's the slow sections. You don't really have a frame of reference for your rhythm, but getting into the map, you can already see the awkward rhythms, the flow, the aim control. Some 1/6 mixed in to trip you up. but both players clearly super familiar with the rhythm, as we're seeing essentially no 100s on the actual map. And Tuna going to be the first to break. That's going to be massive. He really wants to win this set. He's picked it, and he needs to build that score lead back past the 50k mark to even out the lobby.
Yeah, and this map, it not only features rhythm difficulty, but features a little bit of structure reading difficulty. You see a number of these stacks starting off with just a quick 1-2 stack at the beginning of these flowing patterns, and then leaning into some more 1-6 stacks, some denser flow. The Air 9.5 you wouldn't expect to be this dense, but it's going to be striking out both players as Box trades finally going to be coming through with a break of his own. 20k score difference and a continued miss count from Box, going to be giving Tuna an into this map after that early break.
Yeah, now Tuna with a huge combo lead, still retaining high accuracy from both players. Big flowing pattern, both players hit it. Tuna's now taken the score lead, and he's now not too far away from evening out the deficit he had on the first map of the set. This 600-700 now combo is massive. This is the one of the hardest things I think to do is miss early, but just keep focused. Know the chance is still there. Don't give up, and Tuna's done exactly that. All of these awkward patterns, still getting through it. 40k now, almost there from being in the lead for the set.
Yeah, you see those flow kick slider streams so much easier to handle on the hidden. That would be a disastrous pattern on stable, but keeping it going. It's the 50k lead for Tuna. That's what he needs to take the set. That's what he has to hold on to from this point going forward. 56k and still growing. Still a growth combo from Box as well. 700 on him, ready to pounce if the opportunity were to behave itself, but 30 seconds remaining. Will there be enough time for it?
It's up to Tuna, and Box is going to be the first one to break, and now with Tuna still holding on, 80k, 90k now in the lead. This should be it. Tuna should be able to take this second set cleanly with a phenomenal score in this hidden 3. This looks like it might be a reverse choke if he can carry on to the end. And he does.
There it is.
Wow.
Set for set, one miss at the very beginning of this map. First 300 combo was that first miss, and coming through in a big way towards the tail end. 1400 combo for Tuna, 950k. What a performance!
Massive performance from Tuna. Box with a very respectable score as well. Comboed, more than half the map. Not too many misses. Good act, but Tuna there, almost with an FC. Not much you can do. That's why it's important. Keep those first maps if you lose them. Keep those margins close as possible. Tuna ends up with a good amount of breathing room. And now the sets are tied up 1-1. This is likely going to go pretty far in the distance. And I do believe if the match does go to 5 sets, I think every map gets picked. So everything will be explored by the end, potentially, if we see a 2-2 at some point.
A little bit of a score error in the chat.
Yeah.
I did catch that.
I think there's maybe some shenanigans happening with the score tracking, but this is for sure Tuna's set.
Yeah, but I don't know. In terms of remaining picks, I think Tuna definitely wants to tap into that No Mod 3, that very dense precision all-Suicune custom. I feel like that's probably his next best pick, especially with Box banning out double reading in his picks. Taking out that hidden 2 in the Lazer mod. So.
Do you remember what Box protected?
Was that his protect?
It was No Mod 3. No Mod 3 is Box's protect. So, I mean, just based off that, and oh wait, you know what I wonder it is?
That's his third ban.
It might be the third ban. Yeah, I haven't really talked about the strategy too much, but you cannot pick your opponent's protect. So if you feel good on a lot of things, you can just use it as a third ban, and that might be the case. However, the downside with that strategy is if this map goes the distance, if this match goes the distance to 5 sets, you're just gonna be forced to pick that map at a certain point. It's gonna be that DT1, and you talked about this being a good Tuna pick.
Yeah, I talked about this. I figured that Tuna would have a hardy speed cap here. Of course, that's probably why he picked the DT too, but ASecretBox, he has that stamina, he has that flow aim comfort for a map like that, and hence why that breakpoint occurred. But a map like this, a lot harder to gain entry to, a lot less accessible from the jump. ASecretBox has that high BPM aim, but will the burst be what strikes him out here?
And get ready, this is AR 10.5, it's a minute 46 with the double time modifier, so you need to be locked in from the beginning. I think 10.5 specifically can take a bit of time to adjust, and you don't really have that time. Both players dropping early on. Tuna, though, with a big ACK lead. This is something both players can certainly, I would say, full combo if they were on a DT sesh, but you don't have that time to adjust.
Especially coming off of something like a hidden flow rhythm map into 300 BPM aim and burst. Gonna be a very different world shown here, but 3% accuracy lead for Tuna early on, and that miss for Box at the tail end of that pattern gonna be only helping the case. One of the shorter maps in this pool, just about 2 minutes 30 without double time, and with the double time around 145, so gonna be the big difference there. Tuna still holding on to this massive 400.
And the score lead potential of a map like this is very high. With it being shorter, Tuna with the early break, but now holding that big combo, which relatively to the map is a very good chunk of it. Already at 87k, 90k now. Does find a break though, and that's huge for Box to stay in this set. Getting through this is I believe a 250 section, a little bit lower in the BPM. Neither player breaking thus far.
Yeah, this is gonna be just a little flow section, building up Box's combo, and just as easy as it is to get a score lead, there is potential for a score comeback, as Box just now sliding past that 730k mark, 600 combo of his own, and I mean, he's warmed up on the map now. Wasn't warm early, but he's back in a big way with this combo. Final burst of the map for a 23k lead on the point.
Once again, another lead we've seen taken from the other player at the end, and massive recovery from Box. Not a huge lead, 23k isn't too big of a lead for Tuna to come back from, but considering it's going to be Box's next pick, it's his decision to see what they're going to go into and see if he can get this second set. But man, maps like that are just so volatile. Under 2 minutes, high BPM, high AR, kind of anything can happen. And that's what we saw. And Box is going to go to the No Mod 1, a very, very classic map.
Yeah, and we go with Gen d'Arm. We've been seeing in the pooling for this tournament so far, every No Mod 1 just getting slightly incrementally higher BPM. We saw the 240 last week, now we're up to 260 consistency with this Jonathan LFJ Classic. We've been seeing Box be really solid on these maps, and that DT1 warm-up definitely going to be helping the case here. Got an FC on last week's No Mod 1, 7.7 stars. We'll see if he can keep up that track record.
Yeah, this map is definitely has more in it than last week's No Mod 1. Last week's No Mod 1 obviously mostly aim focused with that solo section to trip you up on some flow aim and tapping. This map has a lot more mixed in, lots of flow aim, lots of ults. You can see much higher BPM, some awkward angles, but both players I think have the versatility, the well-roundedness to hit all these kinds of patterns, but as you've said, Box just so consistent on maps like this. Big step up though in difficulty, and we'll see if Tuna can come to compete.
Yeah, already. I mean, again, probably just a readjustment from the approach rate, but Box over aiming, like one of the first circles in the map, so gonna be coming back a little bit from that. Is the only reason for this 3k change so far early on. But this is a map that, with its length, kind of builds up in difficulty. Gonna be here for the long haul on this one.
For sure, and you know that early miss, maybe just a tactical, don't have to worry about an FC miss. I imagine holding an FC on this map on tournament would just be a minus 20 nerves debuff. That would be brutal.
For sure, but what did they call it back in the day? Intercamming method? Like
intercamming method, yeah. It says some player method for the early one miss.
But holding through in a big way there, as both players on near even combo, just that early miss dividing them, the 1-100 for Tuna, and Box, actually. It's 1/100 on both players, just a miss difference. But second key eye is here. It's the cut quad for Tuna being the strikeout. And suddenly it's right back in Box's lead. We're going to have to see how long he can hold on in this key eye. It's going to be that next miss, but consistency going to be big for the score, over-aiming the stack.
Yeah, he aimed that slider too early. Both players kind of getting caught off guard by a little bit of a jump scare pattern. Tuna obviously with the cut from the quad into the next node, and Box there just leaving that stack too early. Now finding another miss. So that early lead that Box build up is going to go back to Box here. Back to Tuna here.
Yeah, still just this waning 3K waiting to be built up. These flow patterns just come and go. It's so tricky to transition from the flow to the snap jumps again, but here we are with some burstier section. There's where that warm-up is going to come in for both of these players. 4K difference. Still no breaks. Oh my goodness, it's so anxiety-inducing, this map.
Yeah, this map is relentless. We're past the halfway mark. Tuna, oh man, big miss from Box. That's going to give Tuna a lot of room to build some score here. Obviously with the breaks both players have had, the score cap for both players isn't that high, but with that break, Tuna now an 800 combo could do a lot of damage here in this third set.
Yeah, he does overtake the set lead by 7K now. So long as he holds this up, he will be winning the set, but Box has a ways to go to build up as well. 900 combo and growing for Tuna. 1K for the road as we head into our second to last PI. It's going to be nerves building up for each of these players, but Tuna still building up this massive lead for what may be his second set win.
Tuna hitting all of these aim patterns. Box as well, but Box isn't the one with the big combo. Now 63K in the lead. Score isn't building up too far in Tuna's favor, but now all he has to do is just hold this above 24K, and he has it. Man, at this point the nerves must be at a fever pitch. Tuna though unfazed.
Big triangle flow, neither player. Oh my goodness, both players doing such a great job on this finals section of the map, but it's all up to Tuna with this massive 1500 combo and growing. What a performance, what a break pick for Tuna to win the set. And it's going to be Box first picking once again next up.
Tuna finally breaking that massive combo, spanned more than half the map. Box with a solid recovery, but there's simply not enough time to believe so. As long as you don't just drop your pen here and chain miss, should not happen. And there we go. Tuna will be taking this third set with a 2-1 lead up against Box. Box now back against the wall going to this fourth set.
Yeah, 3 miss versus 4 miss. It doesn't get closer than that. A slight accuracy advantage on Box with the 5/100s. It's just that massive combo from Tuna. I feel like the consistent in this matchup has been massive combo gaming. The accuracy hasn't had so much of an effect as both players so good on the accuracy for these maps.
Yeah, I mean the average jack here, given the pool difficulty, is quite phenomenal. But now, Box once again to first pick, and I feel like every pick is going to be in a similar vein. And here's the thing now, for Box to win this match, he obviously will have to go to the last set, and that means we're going to see a no mod 3, so assuming Box did protect that as a third ban, he will have to reap what he sowed.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at the tail end of this match, if it makes it to that final set, and it's looking a little scary, especially with this DT3 pick. You have a hidden 1, a no mod 4, and a no mod 3, in which the no mod 3 is dense precision ult. Those all sound like Tuna highlight maps. Like, that is a scary 3 to be going up against. And you have the OG custom which we would be seeing if this set goes his way. So, all scary stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Hope to see that. Always love a nice TB. But it's going to be Box picking Double Time 3, which I think, given the options, is probably the best map left. But even then, still super contested, as we've seen like the other maps. It's going to be your high AR, ult, aim control, lots of cut doubles at a very, very fast 176 BPM. And given how close the ET1 was and how close a lot of the ult maps has been, I don't think it's going to be any different.
Yeah, always love to see some Electrocutica in the pools. This one being a Mirage standout flow aim map. The AR 10.5 is going to be quite important for comfort here. Both players solid on those double times, but Box, this is a skill set that Box farms, and it's going to be showing off early with the first break going to be coming through for Tuna.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of DT, flow aim, high AR, I mean, need I say more than this deconstruction star? that map is like similar to this, but on a different level of difficulty. But saying that, Tuna obviously very good at this kind of map as well, and although he had an early break, we've seen him come back from early misses before in this match.
Yeah, that 1/3 section there, not going to be striking out any misses, but going to be giving accuracy advantage back to Tuna. And again, with the added score multiplier of the double time, it's going to be easy to claw back these leads, just as easy as they are to build up. Only 40k between these players, despite that early miss. 300 combo difference. As we are closing out the KI, none of these doubles going to be striking them out, but we'll see if this repetitive section, it's going to be consistency time from here on out.
Yep. Do not want to break here. Not one bit. And still a little bit of a, I would say this section thus far is more of a relaxed, just kind of pad your combo. Tapping isn't too bad, spacing isn't too bad. Tuna gonna be the one to break, and now that's given a massive opening for Box, because if he can keep this combo going, get a big score lead, it might not matter what Tuna picks. In Box needs a set. Unfortunately though, finds a break, gives Tuna some breathing room, does cut the bleeding or slow down the bleeding from this score deficit.
Yeah, but it's a couple more misses for Tuna, and the accuracy advantage back to Box's side. Still building up the combos now in this much harder section. Whoever misses at the tail end of this will be having a big advantage at the end of it, but still 100k lead for Box is so massive in this set. That could be a set definer, but the miss comes through, and Tuna has a chance to mitigate that damage once again, as he did in previous sets.
I'm honestly surprised we only saw one break in that whole ending. That ending looked insane to play. I mean, some of the angle switches you have to do is absurd, but Box with a massive 87k win on this double time 3, it's going to give him a lot of room for error on Tuna's next pick. And here his options are just no mod 4 or hidden 1, because he cannot pick the no mod 3. It is protected by Box.
Yeah, that's going to be instrumental in winning this final pick. I don't know, based off of how he's been picking so far, I would imagine he goes Nomad 4. Only because he's picked that hidden 3 previously and won that in pretty convincing fashion. Of course, the flow tech being a contested skill set, but Tuna just looking more consistent on that today.
Yeah, I think I would agree. Hidden 1 is more of a volatile pick. It could go really well, it could also go pretty badly. Ideally, if you're Tuna, you can find a way to get an 88k score lead and win the match now before it goes to the last set. But I mean, we've been talking about it in this last set. I mean, you try to pick them on 3, he's not allowed to, obviously. That's the thing though, right? Because for Box, this is the worrying part. In that last set, you're gonna have to play that no mod 3 and then either hidden 1 or no mod 4. And that's not the best 2 maps to try to keep a good score lead up against Tuna before you play the tiebreaker. And with just how difficult the tiebreaker is, if you are in a deficit, it's going to be tough to bring much of a score advantage. So regardless of what happens here, that last set is still looking rough for Box, but it needs to start one step at a time with this set, and Tuna is going to be picking the no mod 4.
Yeah, Chrono Kinesia. This is one of those standout Nuge maps that we've been seeing time and time again in these higher skill cap pools. This was featured in Corsair's Closed a handful of times, and now going to be shown off in the Lazer Grand Arena. We'll see how Lazer makes a difference on these flow tech patterns, a little bit more lenient on some of these sliders and the note lock.
Now, when comparing this map to last week's maps, is a lot more similar to the Nomad 2, which was a bit of a flow aim tech map, than the Nomad 4, which is more slider and cut focused. And I think that element of it actually favors Box here. If anything, I kind of like this pick just because Tuna can still win this, he can still do really well on this, but I also think there's just potential for Box to go crazy, and taking this map out of the last set might be a good idea, honestly.
Unfortunately for Tuna, having a little bit of accuracy issues early on, going to be giving a already 11k lead to Box. Is going to be up to building up this combo from here on out. Just those chain 100s early on, not what you want to be seeing from these players.
Be rough in the early sections of a map to get a foothold on rhythm, but it will matter at least a little bit, especially when you need to get every bit of score you can. And neither player breaking on that transition. And here we go. Box going to be with the first massive break in the techier section of the map. And Tuna now with a big combo lead.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we got to do. He has to build up 88k, so big combo has to be shown off. Nevertheless, if he wants to win this set and not bring it to the end game, but Tuna still holding on tight. These kick sliders, you'd normally be seeing a little bit more 100s from the slider ends here, but so comfortable with this Lazer. Still accuracy being built up for both these players. 800 combo now for Tuna as we are making it to the tail end of our first half of the map. And hold on, he will. Big cut flow section now.
Yep, this is the section that should favor Box more, but more is relative. Tuna still absolutely eating these patterns up. 1,000 combo now. Box, though, trailing behind, has that accuracy to really help him up, slow down the damage that Tuna's combo is doing. And back into the techier section, Tuna managed to get through all of that flow, and he's still holding this combo, but the lead just isn't moving that much because of Box's 99%.
Yeah, that's the difference with the Lazer scoring. It's 50% act, 50% combo. We're going to need to see a break from Box if Tuna wants to convincingly take this point. But it's so built up. There it is, though. Finally, the corner note being what strikes him out. Now we're going to be seeing this lead balloon a little bit. 55k and growing. He needs to build up over 87k to win the set now. 50 seconds remain. How far can he go?
How is he still FCing, man? He's past that score threshold. If he can now just maintain this lead, especially with that miss from Box, he will have this set and the match. But man, that combo is still building. He's back up to 97% act now. Just tearing away at this brutal tech map.
Yeah, and we thought that we thought set 6 would be a bygone conclusion, but not when Tuna does this on the map. I mean, higher skill cap pools, you'd expect accuracy to be a little bit more even, but it's the combo here as Tuna looking to close out the full combo on the Nomad 4.
Wow.
Oh my god!
Oh my goodness, what a score from Tuna, man. Almost 900k with the first FC of this match and the last play of the match. Just phenomenal here. Tuna ending this off with an exclamation mark.
Yeah, I mean, the Lazer Grand Arena champion remains tall, not being struck out quite yet. I mean, back against the wall, FC's the Nomad 4 when he needs it most, prevents taking it to a final set, and closes this out quite comfortably. Unfortunately, the reward for doing so now for Tuna is having to face Malashevsky this weekend.
I mean, with how we saw Tuna play today, that is by no means a match with a foregone conclusion. And fortunately for Box, this is the quarterfinal stage, which means we are in the double elim phase. So he is not out just yet. You'll still get to see more of Box in the losers bracket in the later matches. So he'll have a chance to claw his way back. That is going to be it for now. Now, I believe we do have another match coming tomorrow. It's going to be Friday 2 UTC for Emrek Xylus, and Friday 14 UTC for Lexu 3S, which is Welter, up against Atkins. And then we're going to have the remaining matches, potentials being played on the Saturday and Sunday. But man, what a banger of a match. GG's to both players, and that's going to be it for me and Hubba.
Yeah, I'm excited to see you guys this weekend, and bon voyage.
I see you all there.